Yeah, we're doing this. And I'm wearing my cheapish Maple Leaf shirt. I got this, remember, for 30 bucks from Sport Check. Even if Vaughn likes this one. Of course, she looks at stitching. She's big on the whole stitching thing. She does sewing and a lot of that kind of thing. It's not why I'm dating her, I swear. She's fixed she's fixed a bunch of my jerseys. They look fine on camera. Like, they look fine, although with the new camera, some of the imperfections are going to show up a little bit more. Some of the stains, some of the pulls, the snags. So she fixes them. I sent her home with my San Jose Stadium one today. There's a Canucks one you guys have never seen that I thought was beyond repair. And she is in the process of repairing it when I didn't think anybody ever could in 1 second. Now, I had mentioned to you guys that I had a Kings jersey that has sadly passed on, and this is it. And this is the sadness, because this is when I cheered for the Kings myself. This is when Deadmarsh was a member of the team. The problem is the silver. You see that in the Kings? And it's supposed to be silver all the way around here. And basically what she told me is this shiny here is basically tinsel, for lack of a better term, that they use on these jerseys. And there you can see how snagged and shit it is. And she's not able to fix this one, which is too bad, because in terms of jerseys, this is one of my top favorite all time. And it's basically in mint condition, minus the fact that that logo is so screwed. So the next step I can take, because this, oh, sorry, I fogged up the camera there, the autofocus. The next step I can take is to try to order this logo online, and she can remove this one and put a new one on it. That's how I feel about it, because according to her, the glue that's holding this logo on is much stronger than the glue that's on other jerseys I have. And then it's a matter of cost, and then how long would it last? So that's the tale of woe with my jerseys. That's why I get nervous about my Dallas jersey. You won't see me wearing that one a lot, because the new Dallas Stars jersey has that same kind of shiny silver, and it flakes out. And as I learned with that jersey, it'll just flake right out, and it's gone. So that being said, let's take a look at where the scoring is right now. I look at Anaheim, looking at Anaheim first here. Ryan Getzlaf stands out for the fact he only has 1 goal. I know the guy doesn't score goals, but one in 13 games? Kessler has 6, because I hate him. I think all 6 of those have been scored right after I changed the channel to watch an Anaheim game, and then he scores. He does it because he hates me too. Richard Raquel, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points in 7 games. So he's definitely one to watch. So those are the only ones that stick out with Anaheim. Max Domi stands out in Arizona for the fact he only has 1 goal. Radim Verbata, and really this was predictable. 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in 14 games in Arizona. He's more comfortable in Arizona than he was in Vancouver. Brad Richardson has 8 points in 14 games. He's slowed down from where he started. Ekman Larson, 5 goals in 14 games. He doesn't score as many points as he should, because he doesn't get as many assists, but a damn good player. Goligoski's got 6 points in 14 games. That's right about where he belongs. Shane Doan, only 1 goal in 14 games, 4 points. He may never hit 1,000. It's not a slam dunk that he will. Brad Marchand has returned to normal. 15 games, 16 points. I don't think he had a point tonight either. I know Krejci had that beautiful goal, and then there was the empty netter, but I don't think Marchand had a goal tonight, or a point tonight either. So that'll be 16 games, 16 points. Pasternak, if not for the 2-game suspension, who knows how many goals he'd have? He has 10 right now in 13 games. He didn't score a goal tonight, though. So Krejci did, so that was his 2nd in 16 games, which is surprisingly low. Dominic Moore's been kind of a surprise with 3 goals, 5 points in 15 games. Just in terms of the fact he's on a 15-goal pace, I think that's gravy. Patrice Bergeron with only 2 goals in 12 games, 4 points. A little bit of a surprise there, but, Bergeron's been hurt, so give him some slack there. Buffalo, Okposo and O'Reilly tied with 9 points for the lead. Gionta with 7. And, Buffalo's right about where I said they'd be. If not for loser points, they're, nowhere near the playoffs right now. But thanks to loser points, they're in the hunt. There just isn't enough scoring depth here. Sam Reinhart's looked good in games I've watched, but the stats show he's only got 6 points in 15 games. And, he's tied with Johan Larsson. So it's the stats that tell you, is he... I mean, he's had 34 shots on goal, shooting percentage of 5.9. That has to come up. But he's not... he's just not producing the way that he was supposed to. And they need him to because Eichel's out. No, I don't want Carolina yet. Calgary. There's Johnny Gaudreau, as I said, 10 points, 16 games. I know we don't like plus-minus, but both Monahan and Gaudreau are minus 10. Dougie Hamilton's a minus 9. Hamilton's only on pace for about 30 points this year in Calgary. He has been a failure as a Flame. And blame can go wherever, but he's been a failure as a Flame. And Sam Bennett with 7 points in 16 games. They were counting on more than that from him. Backlund with 1 goal in 16 games. He's not a goal scorer, but he's only got 7 points in 16 games. They were counting on more than that from him as well. I know their goaltending hasn't held up the way it was supposed to, the way I figured it would at the start of the year. But it's a young roster, and this is what can happen. Troy Brouwer is on pace for 20 goals. He's on pace for 35, 40 points. That's right about where he belongs. So, no disappointment there. But in general, the Flames are just lacking. Calgary, Skinner with a point a game has been very good early on. Sebastian Aho, 9 points in 14 games as a rookie. Jordan Staal got off to a good start, has kind of fallen back a bit. Teravainen looks like he's going to score about 45 points in Carolina. Stempniak's fallen back. He was number 1 the first time I looked at these scoring stats. He's not there now. And yeah, Hannaford's on pace for about 40 points. We'll see if he gets there. Chicago, of course, Patrick Kane had the game winner tonight. He'll be at 18 points in 16 games. And the 90-point pace is about right for him. That's about where he ends up. Anisimov's overachieved so far in the season. I figure he'll fall back and probably get about 55, 60 points. Panarin's been very good. Panarin's a very good player, too. It's an impressive record, and it's nice to see Hossa has turned around what appeared to be rapidly eroding offensive stats. Duncan Keith has an insane amount of assists. No goals yet, but who cares? We got 12 assists in 15 games. Yeah, and Tyler Mott with 6 points in 13 games as a rookie. Seabrook's got 10 points in 15 games. So, I mean, lots of offense from the blue line, which is key. Matt Duchene's playing relatively well. Nathan McKinnon's underachieving again. And for all the talk about getting rid of Matt Duchene out of Colorado, I sometimes wonder if it's not Nathan McKinnon that needs a change of pace. Because he regularly underachieves in terms of his offensive potential in Colorado. Wow, is that Rene Bourque? I'm pretty sure it is. But I'm going to click on it anyways because it's hard to believe the guy's got a job in the NHL still. Yep, that's Rene Bourque. After being a healthy scratch quite a bit in Columbus last year. 49 games, he only had 3 goals. This year he's got 4 goals in 11 games already. So I'm not saying he's back yet, but who knows? Rene Bourque's a streaky scorer, so as long as he's on the right side of that streak, right? All right, Columbus. Nick Foligno's off to a fantastic start to the season. Brennan Saad, Alex Wenberg. Zach Werenski has been tremendous for them on the blue line. Hartnell and Atkinson have been putting up decent point totals. Again, everybody talks about, oh, you got to get rid of Hartnell because that crappy contract. Yeah, but right now he's a pretty good player. Yeah, it's a terrible contract at the end, but right now he's a pretty good player who scores a decent amount of points. So I don't understand why no team would want him right now. Worry about that contract later. Seth Jones, 6 points in 10 games, 3 goals. It's early, but Columbus has had some good stuff going on. Oh, there's Tyler Seguin, 17 points in 15 games. That -7 really stands out. Jamie Benn, 13 points in 15 games. I don't know how many points he had tonight, if any. Sorry about the yawning, but Patrick Eaves scored 2 tonight, so he's got 6. That's 12 points in 15 games for him. He's been playing very, very well, actually. Ham Hughes looked good to me tonight, anyways, in Dallas. Wasn't his fault that Lehtinen sucks. Spezza, 9 games that he's played this year, hasn't been great. Roussel is on a 6-game point streak. I have no idea how. Antoine Roussel is just baffling to me. John Klingberg had a slow start to the season. He's picked it up. So he's got 9 points. I think he scored tonight too. I don't know. I wasn't in on who scored and which goals. I was just fascinated with the fact that there were so many goals. Detroit, their #1 scorers, it's a tie between Nyquist and Green, which means that nobody's on pace for more than 50. Henrik Zetterberg has 10 points as well, but he only has 2 goals. The other 2 guys have 3. So Thomas Vanek, 7 games, 8 points. Everything's great. Oh, injury, never mind. Dylan Larkin, 5 goals in 16 games. Franz Nielsen's been, -7. Darren Helm, 7 points in 13 games. Tatar is not looking like he's what he was supposed to be. He's only on pace for 10 goals this year. Edmonton, of course, they're still playing right now. It's 18 points in 15 games for McDavid, who was early in the season at 2 points a game pace. So he's fallen off of that, but nobody's going to keep up at that pace. Eberle looks like he's going to dramatically increase his scoring from last year. And I mean, how could he not? How could he not? Lucic, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins in games I've seen of the Oilers just looked very good this year. For all the talk about, oh, he should be the one that goes or he should get traded, he's actually looked quite good. I wouldn't get rid of him. Florida, Marchessault is still leading them in points. He's finally dropped below point a game pace. He's not going to end up with 70, 80 points. Keith Yandle, 8 assists in 15 games. He's looked pretty good for the Panthers in games I've seen so far. And he's got 42 shots on net, so one's going to go in soon. Barkov, only 2 goals in 15 games. So I don't know if that's at the point of being concerned or not. Riley Smith with 6 points in 15 games. He's only on pace for about 30 points. I kind of said during the summer that I thought Riley Smith would fall back, and I totally had people say that I was wrong, and a lot of angry comments thrown at me about how great Riley Smith was, and I'm not sure what I missed in Dallas and Boston, but I didn't see that player. And even if he had a really good year last year, it's not converting for him this year. And Yager, with 1 goal in 15 games, appears to finally be on his way down. So his dreams of playing into his 50s, it may be a matter of there isn't a team that's willing to employ him that long. The Kings, Toffoli, Brown's having another year where he can't score goals. Kopitar, only 8 points in 15 games and only 2 goals. Setaguchi, the comeback kid, 4 points in 15 games for him. The surprising Minnesota Wild, Eric Stahl, 12 points in 13 games. Ryan Suter, 11 points. Charlie Coyle, 10. Nino Niederreiter's got 11, or 8 in 13 games. Let's see, Palmanville, 6 points in 13 games. Mikko Koivu, 6 points in 13. Stewart, 5 points in 13. I'm not sure why Chris Stewart keeps getting employment. In Montreal, Galchenyuk, finally, showing what he can do. Radulov playing very well. Not getting the goals that might have been expected, but getting the points. Shea Weber's point totals have fallen off, but man, that plus 17 through 15 games, that's intimidating. You know, being on pace for 90, plus 90, that's crazy. You know, he's not going to keep that up, but still. Max Pacioretty, 12 points in 15 games. Gallagher with 9. Deneau with 9. So Deneau could end up being a steal for the Montreal Canadiens. Time will tell. But early on, it looks good. Of course, they lost tonight, but that's just their second loss so far this season. Philip Forsberg finally got rid of that goose egg for his goals, but he's only got 1 in 14 games, so mixed blessing. James Neal can score goals, can't get a lot of points, so 10 points in 14 games for him. Arvidsson, 9 points in 14 games, so he's, you know, definitely playing better than he did last year. He's picked up where he left off in the playoffs, really. Roman Yossi's 8 points in 14 games. BK Subban, 8 points in 14 games. They're both heavy minuses. That will get better. As things get better in Nashville, that will get better for them as well. In Jersey, Taylor Hall, 12 points in 14 games. So he's close to a point a game. He's a multi-point game or two away from, you know, legitimately being a point-a-game player. But he's only got 5 goals in 14 games. So technically he's on pace for about 30 goals, which is good, but it's not the 40 that I was waiting for him to score this year. So we'll see if he goes on a sprint here, or, you know, some kind of a hot streak. Damon Severson with 11 points in 14 games. Very solid offense from a defenseman that, while some was expected, I don't know that much was expected from him. I don't think he's going to keep that up, but still. Zajac, 10 points in 14 games. Camilleri, 6 points in 12 games. Henrique has not managed to get his point totals up where Hall's are. He only has 6 points, so he's got half the points that Hall has. Palmieri has not shown that he's going to double up his fantastic season. He's not on pace to. He's on pace for 30 points. So yeah, there's some scoring issues in Jersey, but it's funny what great goaltending will do when you have scoring woes. The Islanders, Tavares, still not a point a game. 12 and 15. Brock Nelson, 11 and 15. Josh Bailey, 8 and 15. Seidenberg, 8 and 15. But for anybody who hasn't heard, apparently Seidenberg broke his jaw. He could be out for a while. Johnny Boychuk then will get more ice time. Calvin DeHaan will get more ice time with Seidenberg out. But Seidenberg was having a really good season for the Islanders, so that is going to hurt them. The Rangers, JT Miller's number 1. Kevin Hayes, number 2. Michael Grabner, defying gravity. I don't know how long that continues, but 8 goals in 15 games. I'll give him credit for a streaky scorer. He's streaking. Zibanejad, 11 points in 15 games. Jimmy Vesey, 7 goals in 15 games, 11 points. Derek Stepan, 11 points. Kreider, 11 points. Nash, 10 points. McDonough, 10 points, all assists. Zuccarello, 10 points. This is solid depth scoring. One thing about having Vigneault as your coach, your team will be able to score. He knows how to coach offense. I remember from when he was in Vancouver. Ottawa, Erik Karlsson is almost a point a game. Last season, he set the bar so bloody high. So no matter what he does this year, it's going to be a disappointment to some. Ryan Dzingel, 9 points in 14 games. Every time I watch an Ottawa game, Dzingel really impresses me. Kyle Turris, 6 goals in 14 games, only 8 points. So he's on pace for roughly 45-50 points. Matt Hoffman's on pace for roughly 40 points. Broussard, 6 points in 14 games, only 1 goal. So he has been outplayed to this point by Zibanejad. Stone, Ryan, a lot of guys who are having okay seasons. Dion Phaneuf has not turned his game around as I thought he might. 4 points in 14 games and a -6. Philly, Voracek's up to a point a game. Giroux's still at a point a game. Wayne Simmons is almost at a point a game, and Ghost to Spear, 10 points in 16 games, so he's on pace for 50. Looks damn good. Braden Shen, who knows how many times this guy's going to get suspended for the way he straddles that line of playing by the rules and not playing by the rules. Konechny looks like a steal late in the first round for Philly, if only I had predicted it. Stupid Boston. Konechny would have looked really nice in a Boston jersey, especially with their scoring woes right now. Pittsburgh, Malkin, point a game. Hornquist, almost a point a game, and Crosby, 10 goals in 9 games, as I said earlier tonight. Phil Kessel, only 3 goals, but 13 points in 15 games. Matt Collins overproducing with 9 points in 15 games. Connor Sheary, 8 points in 8 games, so he's picked up where he left off in the playoffs. Chris Kunitz is still a useful forward. He has 8 points in 15 games for them. San Jose, Pavelski, 14 points, 15 games. Brent Burns, 14 points, 15 games. Joe Thornton, 11 points in 15 games. Hurdle, 9 points in 15. Couture, 8 points in 15. The one thing with San Jose is it always seems like they're going to get more points and more goals than they do because of the fact that it's scoring by committee. So no one player in San Jose ever seems to really truly achieve their potential in terms of scoring because it is scoring by committee. St. Louis, Tarasenko, he's above a point a game. Shattenkirk's got 12 points in 16 games. The Blues would be crazy to trade him. Steen, 10 points in 16 games, only 2 goals. Paul Stastny, 9 points in 16 games. David Perron, 8 points in 16 games. The plus-minuses get worrisome here. Peter Angelo with a -11, Perron with a -8, Steen with a -8, Stastny -4, Colton Parayko -6, Scotty Upshall -6. The Blues are not having a very good season. They really aren't. Even Tarasenko's only a 0 because their defense and their goaltending has just been atrocious. Stamkos is more than a point a game this year. Kucherov's more than a point a game. Hedman's got 11 points in 15 games. Looks like he's ready to start winning Norris trophies. Filppula, 9 points in 14 games. Palat. Killorn's 6 goals in 15 games is big because he always seems to score big goals. The Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews, after his 4-goal first game in the NHL, you knew he wasn't going to keep that up, obviously. He's only got 2 goals in 14 games since then, 12 points overall. Willie Nylander, 12 points. Watch Nylander, this kid is for real. Mitch Marner's for real as well. His plus-minus is ugly, but plus-minuses in Toronto are ugly anyways. Kadri, 11 points in 15 games. He's got 7 goals. There's no reason Kadri shouldn't be able to score 30 this year. I had somebody take umbrage with me saying Kadri's a potential 30 goal scorer, but he is. He's on pace right now for over 30 goals. Van Riemsdyk, 11 points, 15 games. Bozak, 10. Toronto can score. They can score. The problem is they have Gardner on the blue line, and some of the players on the blue line are just scary in general. Nope, I don't want that team yet. No, I just did that team. Vancouver. Oh, Henrik and Daniel have started picking up their scoring again. Horvat's picking up his scoring. I don't think it's going to be enough. Sutter's got points. Louis Eriksson had a goal tonight. Granlund got a goal and an assist. I don't see there being enough scoring in Vancouver to make up for their deficiency in net right now. Miller was alarmingly bad again today. It was a battle between 2 bad goaltenders between Miller and Leighton in Vancouver. No, I don't want those guys yet. I know where those guys are at. Washington, Ovechkin, 7 goals in 14 games, but only 11 points because he doesn't get assists. Nick Backstrom, 9 points in 14 games. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 7 points in 14 games. Carlson, 6 points. Schmidt, 4 points. Niskanen, 7 points. Those are 3 blue liners, none of them with a goal. Strange. Really, really strange. And in Winnipeg, of course, I have mentioned that Mark Scheifele is number 1 in the league in scoring. He's got 20 points in 16 games. Right on the 100-point in 80 games pace. So I guess 103 points, considering it's an 82-game season. Lane with 16 points. This is not updated for tonight's game, of course. Ehlers, 14 points. Wheeler, 13 points. Bufflin, 8 points. Myers, 5. Enstrom, 4. Armia, 4. Kyle Connor, who got pushed into the boards, 4 points in 15 games. It is a pretty good scoring team going on right now in Winnipeg. The team in general in Winnipeg looks good. We'll see what happens. Now, getting into goaltenders, I'm going to touch on this briefly. Carey Price is ahead. He's Vezina winner right now. But the case could be made for Tuukka Rask pretty quick here because Rask has 3 shutouts already. He's 10-1. Save percentage is above .940. He's looked fantastic. Jimmy Howard isn't getting the proper amount of respect for what he's done in Detroit. 1.8 goals against, .943 save percentage. He's played 8 games, so this isn't just like 2 or 3 games. And Devin Dubnyk is playing great in Minnesota right now. Chet Pickard has looked good in limited action in Colorado. Don't look now, but Jonathan Bernier is outperforming John Gibson in Anaheim. So we could have a goaltending controversy within the next 10 games if that continues. Pekka Rinne with a shutout, .930 save percentage, 5-4-3 record, 2.13 goals against. Rinne's really turned it around. He really has. Braden Holtby, solid, good record. One sec. Jakob Markstrom has looked better in Vancouver than Ryan Miller thus far. Bobrovsky's .931 save percentage has been very good. So Bobrovsky in Columbus is proving me right now that he's one of the better goalies in the league. And the big story of Craig Anderson, 7-3 in 10 games, 2.18 goals against and .931 save percentage. Pretty fantastic goaltending. Cam Talbot's been very good as well. 8-5-1 in 14 games. He's going to play quite a bit in Edmonton. .920 save percentage. Jake Allen has been disappointing. .896 save percentage so far in St. Louis. Thomas Greiss is .909. I'm not sure why the Islanders are looking to unload a goalie since none of their goalies have been very good. Cam Ward, 901 save percentage. Losing record in Carolina. No surprise there. Ryan Miller's save percentage will take a hit from today's game. He does get his second win, so he's 2-7, but it's still an ugly line he's got. And Kerry Leightonen's save percentage is going to fall further below 900 after tonight's loss, and he'll fall to 3-4-3. Dallas is in trouble. Halak, yeah, like I said, the Islanders have not had great goaltending. Halak hasn't been great. Mrazek hasn't been great either. Fleury's been passable in Pittsburgh, but it is going to be the Matt Murray show pretty soon here. Hutchinson, below 900 in save percentage. You have to start wondering, okay, where's Winnipeg's problem really? Could be the blue line there too. And maybe that's where the pressure came from for them to get the Trouba deal done. Fantastic deal on Trouba, by the way. That's the bridge deal that I said he should have got, and I had people saying, why take a bridge deal? Players shouldn't take bridge deals. Well, he took a bridge deal. Elliott's been bad. I'm not going to mince words on that one. And Varlamov, before tonight's game, has been pretty poor for Colorado as well. And Anderson, hot, cold, hot, cold. I'm not sure what you may get from one night to the other with Anderson, but at least he's got 6 wins. So they're going to keep playing him. They're going to give him every chance to turn it around. His goals against is ugly, but honestly, Toronto's defense is just brutal. So that's a look at the NHL stats for right now. So long video, understandably long video. Thanks for getting through it if you made it to the end. Let me know who you're looking at as a surprise and who you think is most likely to turn things around. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all again soon.